Space stations creak, dystopias crack, and forgotten heroes wait in the wings. The 1970s gifted TV viewers a treasure trove of sci-fi experiments, some visionary, some gloriously odd, all overshadowed by blockbuster cousins. Tonight, we crack open the vault on a dozen neglected series that deserve modern stardust. Buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and let's reignite the future past. 1. The Star Lost, 1973. Imagine awakening inside a sealed biosphere, convinced you're on Earth, only to discover you're actually adrift in a crippled ark the size of a small moon. That's the existential shock that propels The Star Lost, created from Harlan Ellison's Hugo-winning concept. In 1973, Canadian producers dreamed big, gigantic dome sets, philosophical plots, and a sweeping saga of runaway humanity. Then reality warped the dream. Budget collapses forced cardboard corridors, static cameras, and recycled costumes. Critics sneered, viewers drifted, and the series was canceled before its grand plan could exceed even liftoff velocity. Yet beneath the polystyrene lies a raw diamond. Each biosphere housed a unique culture. Amish agrarians, militaristic technocrats, mystic scholars, reflecting humanity's fractured identity. The moral question at the show's heart, how do we steer a lost society home when leadership has vanished, feels uncannily relevant to our AI-shaken age. Picture a prestige reboot with The Expanse-level visuals, episode arcs exploring xenophobia, climate guilt, and class divides, and a ticking clock towards stellar collision. The DNA of greatness is already coded in the original. All it needs is modern budgets and fearless writing to blossom into a generation-defining odyssey. Second Ark II, 1976. Saturday morning TV rarely tackled the apocalypse, but Ark II charged straight into the wastelands, complete with talking chimp, jetpack, and solar-powered science truck. The year is 2476. Humanity has scorched the planet. Enter young scientist Jonah, teen cadets Ruth and Samuel, and their articulate chimpanzee, Adam. Their mission? Roam the blighted Earth, dispensing knowledge, vaccines, and hope. What could have been kiddie sermonizing turned strangely prophetic. Episodes confronted water scarcity, toxic dumps, and weaponized superstition. Issues our century grapples with daily. The series recycled from NASA vehicle looked clunky then, yet its eco-tech ethos foreshadowed today's renewable revolution. Even the show's diverse cast, rare for mid-70s children's television, whispered of a more inclusive future. A revival practically writes itself. Upgrade the Ark with modular drones, CRISPR field labs, and 3D printed shelters. Swap one-off morality tales for serialized arcs about climate refugees, biotech black markets, and corporate eco-terrorism. Keep the youthful idealism, but add adult gravitas. Think Stranger Things meets The Last of Us with a hopeful pulse. In an era starved for optimistic sci-fi, Ark II could guide us once again. Third Quark, 1978. Before Spaceballs and long before the Orville, Buck Henry's Quark blasted onto NBC as a fearless parody of sci-fi tropes. Adam Quark commands a cosmic garbage scow for the United Galaxy's Sanitation Patrol, cleaning up space debris while yearning for hero status. His crew, a neurotic plant creature, an officious robot, and identical clone sisters who bicker over which is the original. Quark sliced through genre cliché with Henry's trademark deadpan, riffing on everything from Star Wars trench runs to Star Trek logic loops. Unfortunately, primetime audiences in 1978 wrestled with the idea of space satire, and the network yanked the plug after 8 episodes. But the show's comedic antimatter still crackles. Meta-dialogue, gender politics gags, and low-budget effects spun into surreal punchlines. Now, imagine Quark reborn as a streaming series where garbage removal is the front line of orbital warfare against rogue AI satellites and viral space junk. Lean into workplace comedy a la The Office. Sprinkle satirical cameos from pompous space admirals, and dial up visual insanity with modern CGI. In an age when debris threatens real-world spacecraft, sanitation has never felt so urgent or ripe for biting humor. 4. Logans Run, 1977-78. The film's premise was chilling enough. In a domed utopia, life ends at 30, and only runners dare flee. The TV series stretched that terror across weekly escapades as Sandman turned fugitive Logan, Rebel Jessica, and android ally Rem searched for the legendary sanctuary while dodging totalitarian pursuit. Sadly, networks slashed its budget, muddled its tone, and buried episodes in erratic time slots. Viewers missed out on the deeper lore, secret councils, class stratifications, and tech cults. Outlined by Planet of the Apes, veterans DC, Fontana, and David Gerrold. Yet those very seeds could bloom spectacularly today. Picture a 2-season arc charting Logan's probe into how society weaponizes youth culture, influencer perfection, and body mod obsessions. The carousel ritual reimagined with VR euphoria, the fiery crystal life clocks, now biometric implants dictating social credit scores. Through bridges to contemporary debates, longevity science, ageism, eugenics, the show would balance chase sequence thrills with Black Mirror sharp commentary. Modern streaming budgets could finally deliver the gleaming cityscapes and subterranean anarchy the original promised. And with serialized storytelling, we'd witness Logan's moral evolution in full, transforming a canceled artifact into a binge-worthy meditation on the price of perpetual youth. 5. The Fantastic Journey, 1977. Storm-tossed research vessel. The Voyager crashes onto an uncharted, emerald-skinned island somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle. Its survivors, astrophysicist Dr. Fred Walters, rebellious teen Scott Jordan, telepathic Victorian healer Liana, and ancient alien guide Varian, quickly learn the sand beneath their feet isn't anchored to any single era. Instead, invisible force walls carve the island into chronal zones, each opening onto a different century, dimension, or parallel Earth. One wrong step and you're sipping Spartan wine. The next, you're dodging laser-armed tyrants from 2020-30. The original series only aired 10 episodes before NBC severed its own timeline, leaving cliffhangers marooned. But its premise, wandering a stitched-together quilt of history, now begs for prestige TV treatment. Think anthology arcs where our travelers confront Salem witch hunters one week, 1920s, bootlegger robots the next. Emotional stakes pulse in Varian's tuning fork weapon that channels sonic empathy, a gift that heals or destroys depending on intent, mirroring today's tech debates about tools versus weapons. A revival could deepen the ensemble's personal quests. Walters seeks scientific absolution after losing a colleague to quantum mishap. Liana hunts the origin of her psychic lineage. Scott grapples with being the youngest but bravest. And the island itself becomes a sentient labyrinth, reacting to fear and hope in equal measure. Blend Lost's existential dread, Doctor Who's tonal elasticity, and Dark's jaw-knotting time logic, and you'd transform The Fantastic Journey from a cult curio into a mind-bending binge. 6th Space Academy, 1977. In the 37th century, orbiting asteroid 4-5-6 seats Space Academy, a cosmic Hogwarts where gifted teenagers train to become peacekeepers of the stars. Commandant Isaac Gampu, a 300-year-old explorer with wisdom etched into every wrinkle, shepherds cadets like telekinetic Chris, super genius Laura, and blue-skinned alien Loki through moral quandaries disguised as meteor showers and rogue AI uprisings. Saturday morning budgets meant foam rubber asteroids and psychedelic backdrops. Yet the show's stress on cooperation over conquest set it apart from laser-obsessed contemporaries. Fast forward and YA science fiction dominate streaming queues, perfect conditions to relaunch Space Academy. Picture a cross between The Expanse and Umbrella Academy, sprawling zero-G training arenas, neural link simulators, and ethical exams where failure endangers planets. Cadet drama blooms under starlight, romances spark, rivalries combust, and Gampu's immortality holds tragic secrets about early space colonization. Episodic missions would tackle terraforming gone awry, sentient nanoclouds, and refugee flotillas fleeing galactic civil wars. Crucially, the Academy's multicultural crew allows real-world issues, systemic bias, resource inequity, and colonial guilt to orbit plot beats without sacrificing adventure's rocket fuel. By graduation, viewers wouldn't just crave the next star sector, they'd crave the next semester. 7. SalvageOne, 1979. Meet Harry Broderick, a scrapyard savant who hoists rusted satellites and decommissioned jets with equal joy. One bourbon-soaked night, he hatches the audacious plan to build a DIY rocket, fly to the moon, and salvage all that NASA junk nobody's using. Aided by ex-astronaut Skip Carmichael and quizzical engineer Mel Slozar, Harry fashions lunar lander Vulture from cement mixer drums and junked fuel tanks, a middle finger salute to red tape and astronomical price tags. ABC greenlit the premise, delivered a successful pilot movie, then faltered mid-orbit. Only 16 episodes followed before cancellation. Today, with billionaires firing personal starships skyward and crowdfunding turning dreams into blueprints, SalvageOne feels prophetically on brand. A reboot could lean into maker culture exuberance, 3D printed hulls, open source guidance code, modular boosters crowdfunded by meme stock profits. Each season might pursue a new outlaw mission, cleaning orbital debris for profit, rescuing a stranded research satellite, even mining near-Earth asteroids ahead of corporate monopolies. Moral friction would spark like welding arcs. Harry's finders-keepers ethos collides with global treaties, environmentalists, and the existential dread of privatizing the heavens. Mix the scrappy optimism of The Martian with the entrepreneurial chaos of Mythbusters, and SalvageOne could inspire the next generation of garage engineers to literally shoot for the moon. 8. Star Maidens, 1976. On planet Medusa, matriarchy rules. Women wield authority, men serve in domestic roles. A gender-flipped mirror to 1970s Earth. When two male servants, Adam and Shem, hijack a shuttle and crash land in contemporary Britain, interplanetary culture shock erupts. Medusan security officers Octavia and Fulvia follow, sparking comedic misunderstandings and earnest debates about power, consent, and societal roles. Budget constraints disguised as metallic jumpsuits couldn't mask the show's daring social commentary. Rebooting Star Maidens now could transcend novelty by digging deeper into intersectional power dynamics. Medusan society might appear utopian, zero wage gaps, universal childcare, yet hide its own cracks, caste systems, reproductive coercion, algorithmic matchmaking. Earth, conversely, grapples with ongoing gender inequities illuminated by the alien mirror. Narrative arcs could trace diplomatic negotiations, romance across cultures, and resistance movements on both worlds that question any binary hierarchy. Visual design, once shiny and spare, would morph into lush Afrofuturist meets brutalist aesthetics. Medusa's crystal cities juxtaposed with Earth's concrete towers, and storytelling tone could balance sharp satire with heartfelt character journeys. Think The Good Place meets For All Mankind. By flipping expectations, Star Maidens returns not merely as sci-fi fantasy, but as a prism refracting our ever-evolving conversation on equality. Forgotten stars, reignited. Each show whispers untapped futures. Each premise throbs with modern relevance, and you hold the remote to resurrection. If you crave these reboots as fiercely as we do, smash that like button, subscribe, and share the mission. Let's persuade the networks. The 70s are overdue for liftoff.